Hi, my name is Cassidy Amber Chapman, and this is my Digital Nomad Story Season 2. I am doing this series as I'm living around the world so that you can see what's possible for you, because if I can do it, you can definitely do it. Right now, I am in Vienna, Austria, and this has been an interesting trip. This is probably one of the first trips that I did for a week that was by myself. Every time I've gone by myself to a country, I usually go for a month or 2 months. And the issue for me in Europe is that I can only stay in Europe for 3 months at a time. My 90 days didn't allow me to go all the countries that I wanted to go to. So I picked just to be in Vienna for a week, which was a bit of a difficulty. But I want to first start with all the amazing things that happened, and then we'll get to the difficulties. So if you want to get to the difficult part, stay till the end. This trip, worth coming to a whole country for, Vienna, was the Light of Creation show at Voltage Church. Voltage Church? It was amazing. It blew me away. So it was in this old cathedral that was just by itself. The cathedrals here, the churches here are so beautiful. What I really love is when I was in the church, I just kept thinking, wow, how many artists were paid and were working on this church? Because I mean, every crevice, every detail, every corner of that church was filled with art. And I can't even imagine how many artists that it took to be able to do this. And it blew me away. And I was in awe already just from the church itself. And then there was this 3D light show that was the Light of Creation. So it started with light, I think, at the Jesus statue, and then like it exploded, and then it started like going and making the whole church look like it was in space and under the stars, and then it started the moon and the sun, and then it went through, all of different creation from the Sahara with all of the animals and the ocean and the creation. It just kept going through every type of creation of this world, and it was so beautiful. Like the composer too created a piece to go along with this light show, or it was the light show that went along with the composer. I'm not sure which one came first, but I love classical music. I love orchestras. I love the violins and the cellos, and it was chilling to the bone. I loved it. I was just sitting there in awe, like absolute awe of everything that was going on. Now, I will admit, I think we need to stop using our phones everywhere. And I know I share things on social media, but most of the time you won't see me on my phone when I'm out and in things. When people say, come to your show, when they start the show and they say, please don't use your phone, don't record, please don't record. It really does mess with other people's watching. I hate going to concerts now and everyone just has their phone out. Just enjoy the moment. I mean, I know it's gonna be something I have to get used to, I guess, but I just really feel like we should we should be in the moment. We should be present. We should be with the artists. We should, really be there instead of needing to take videos for everything. You're not even gonna watch those videos. You're not even gonna watch those videos. And I'm gonna be honest, most people don't even care when you're posting about you being at a concert. You just don't need to do it. Share the story, share the stories. Like we're by a campfire like the old times. But anyways, that's just my own thoughts. And this is kind of like my campfire, right? Even though it's online, I'm sharing stories around a campfire, and I'm not showing you every single detail of every single place that I've been to, but because I was present. But I can tell you the story of it. Anyways, now I'm gonna come out the closet a bit. I love classical music, and if it makes me weird, then it makes me weird. I'm a young person that loves classical music. I love orchestras. I love all things strings. I mean, I just love it. And I mean, if you've heard my song, you would know there's strings in it. I love a chilling, Disney-like, or even just like a crescendo, like in a movie, when you can feel your whole body begin to release into music. It's just so amazing to me. And so this is the city of classical music, which is why I came here in the first place. I was called to Vienna. It was funny, I was listening to Billy Joel on the way to New York, and it was a magical trip to New York. And I heard in the song, "You're being called to Vienna," or "I'm being called to Vienna," or something of the sort. And I just like, it hit me. And I knew that I was supposed to be in Vienna when I was going to be in Europe. And so I found this incredible place to stay. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go by myself and go listen to classical music. And so one of the nights I did go to a classical music concert, and everyone did not put up their phones, and I really enjoyed that. But it was so, like, the church itself was unbelievably gorgeous, and then the strings, and it was everything for me. It was worth coming to Vienna, but honestly, the Light of Creation show was even more worth it. And what's funny is I really like activities that some older people like. Some of my friends call me grandma because I like to go to bed early. I would like to wake up early, and I like, the simple things in life. And I just found myself with a lot of older people in a lot of the places that I went. So the classical music, the Voltage Church, like, there's just mostly people who are much, much, much older than me. And I'm over here like, like it's a kid in a candy shop, like looking at the churches and listening to the music and seeing the light shows, like, But I seem to find myself in a lot of spaces with a lot of older people, and I didn't really see many young people in Vienna, and maybe that's just because I wasn't doing young person things, I don't know. But I didn't really meet anybody younger. But what I did what this trip really did for me was finding such an appreciation for those who are older, who are elders, those who, I saw people's faces, those who were, on the older side. I just saw like beauty. I saw so much beauty in the wrinkles and the smile lines and the crow lines, whatever you call them. I found so much joy in the white hair and the old couple holding hands, and I was looking at everyone who was older than me and just thinking about their life experiences, thinking about the love they endured, the places they went, the pain they endured, the experiences they got to have, the wisdom that they have. And I was just thinking about like these people, and I was looking at them, and I'm like, they've lived entire lives, entire lifetimes, and it just gave me such an appreciation to those who have more life experience. And I felt so honored to just be able to witness, them enjoy, and them looking at the fun things that I was looking at, and them enjoying it. And it was a really beautiful moment for me, and something that I will definitely be taking away from Vienna. Another thing that I did was I went to go to a botanical garden at the University of Vienna, and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. When I am disconnected from nature, I start to get a little wacko. I'm gonna come out the closet again. I'm a tree hugger. And I hate that term. Because of what it sounds like. But I need to touch trees. I need to put my feet in the grass. I need to put my feet in the sand. And I need to do it almost daily to feel like a human being. And it's just something that I need to do. And it was funny because I was at the botanical garden, and I was just trying to like touch every tree I could, and it was helping me feel a lot better. I know it sounds weird, but you know what? Go out and try it. Just touch a tree, see how you feel. And I thought it used to be weird too, but then I realized how much it was helping my nervous system. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna care how weird it looks. I'm gonna go hug and touch a tree and put my feet in the grass and put my feet in the sand, because it really, really helps. And once you notice how much it helps, you almost need to do it every day because it just is so helpful in regulating your nervous system and just feeling so much better. And I think there's something to it about being connected to nature that I think is really, really important. So as I'm like trying to hide that I'm a tree hugger because I'm embarrassed and then I want to touch and hug the trees. I don't actually hug the trees, but I do touch them and put my feet in the grass. and it kept saying you can't put your feet in the grass. It said you can't walk on the grass. And so me being respectful, I'm gonna try to be in integrity and not do that. But I was really upset because I just wanted to put my feet in the grass. But I was like, at least I can touch the trees because there's gorgeous trees there. And I'm just like putting my hands on the trees and I'm feeling so much better. And it was funny because I went to a little corner because again, I'm trying to hide that I'm that I'm touching these trees, but it's making me feel so much better. So I mean, should I really care? And I go by a another woman, and she's touching the trees, and she's even putting her forehead to them. I like to put my head in like the leaves. I don't know, for some reason that like really, it just feels like it's washing me, like I don't know, with joy. I don't know. And she was doing the same thing, and I was like, oh, I'm not the only one. So I was like a little less embarrassed by hugging and touching the trees, but I really needed it. And you know what? So it looks like so did she. So I was really happy to see someone else who was, doing that as well. What was also fun was in Amsterdam, had so many friends and I had so many things that I was doing every single night. And nighttime is usually when I can talk to my friends in the US. And so I barely talked to my friends. And in Vienna, I was able to talk to my friends for hours. There was even times when my friends would go out and I would be on the phone with them for hours as they were out, and I got to feel like I was out with them, which was really fun. Now, the thing that wasn't so great about Vienna, now was a little stressed out because I have never booked things out all the way out. I can't tell you where I'm going yet because I like to keep it a surprise, but there's somewhere that I'm going that had a specific visa that I had to book everything in advance for. So I had to book all of my whole trip until I'm coming back to the US. So I already know when I'm going to come back to the US. And that's a little bit stressful to me because I had to book everything. So think about spending months of your rent and bills ahead of time in 1 month. And also, I just like spontaneity, so it just felt too like rigid for me. But anyways, I decided to do a week in Vienna, and I do love this place. It was very much worth it. And I've never come to a place for a week alone without knowing anyone. And I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time I felt lonely in another country. People always ask me, like, do you feel lonely? I'm like, no, I have friends all over the world. Why would I be lonely? And also, I love my alone time. I'm such an introvert that a week by myself sounds like heaven. However, maybe it was because I was just with a bunch of friends that it made me feel a bit lonely being here. And I'm just surprised because usually I make friends like that, like in 2 seconds. And maybe it's because I didn't really see too many people my age, but also I have friends of people of all ages, but we'll get to that another time. And I just don't know. I don't know why this place was just a little bit more lonely. I could have made more of an effort, but I usually reach out to expat communities and digital nomad communities, and no one got back to me. And that's the first time it's ever happened. So I'm just gonna say this isn't a digital nomad friendly place. But I mean, other people have told me other things, but I didn't feel like there was a bunch of things for me to do that would be fun. I don't know. There was an African festival right outside my Airbnb, which was amazing. It was super fun, and but again, like nobody was my age, and it's been an interesting place to be by myself. I do think it was worth coming. It's crazy to me because now I'm realizing when people say they feel lonely, I'm like, why would you feel lonely while you're going traveling? Because for me, I've had the privilege of having friends, clients, and acquaintances all over the world and being able to make friends like that. But it wasn't always that way. And I think I'm going to make another video about building community as a digital nomad and just in your hometown in general. I think I'm going to make that a separate video, which is going to be fun. All in all, I am so grateful for Vienna. I'm so grateful for the classical music and the beautiful churches and the appreciation for wisdom. And honestly, I think I found one gray hair the other day, not the other day, but maybe a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh my God, a wisdom streak. Most people like don't want like gray hair, but I was like, oh my god, I have a wisdom streak. And it was only one of them, but I think it's gone. I don't know what happened to it. I wanted to keep it, but I would say one of the passing messages is let's celebrate getting older. Let's celebrate wisdom. Let's celebrate gray hairs and the ability to hug kids and grandkids and wherever you are at in life, being able to be a wise mentor, like whatever it is, getting older is a privilege. And there's so much wisdom and so much life and so much love that gets to be had in these spaces. And I think if we poured more love into our older communities, into our elders, into the people that are older than us, I think that we could create something really, really beautiful. And I think that we need to create more of that connection, because just because you're wrinkly does not mean you're beautiful, and just because you have gray hair doesn't mean you're beautiful. And I think that there's something within that I learned here that I want to take away, and I want you to take away as well. And I am so grateful. I am off to my next country tomorrow morning. And who knows what could happen tonight. Maybe I'll add on to this video. But thank you so much for watching. And remember that if you feel a calling somewhere, it's always worth it to take the leap. If you're feeling called to a particular place, go to the place, because it has something for you. Even if it's not perfect, even if it's not exactly what you thought it was going to be, it's going to have something for you. A lesson, a blessing, like there's something for you there. So remember to be brave, to be bold, to be who you're meant to be. Reach out to me to tell me your stories. I'd love to hear it, for us to connect. And I'm sending you so much love. Ciao.